Hi guys, good day, and I really hope that you're having a wonderful evening tonight. And I just have to do this vlog right now as I cannot sleep, thinking that I have this pending work to do, vlogging right away. I have to share my review of Fiido D2S for over 2 months already. But the difference from my previous vlog, same as this, is that I will be using briefly an English language. So bear with me as I really use most of the time the Filipino language. I am a native speaker of the Filipino language. So I may not be as fluent, but I will try my best. Okay? So why did I have to remake another video on this one? Simply because I received a question from Miss Happy Sappy 21. It's like not really the exact words, but she asked as, why can't I use the title the same as I speak the language, just like that. Probably she finds it misleading as I used an English title and I used the Filipino language. I wasn't mindful because I did not expect literally that there will be other people interested with my channel. But I realized that they got interested because of the e-bike. Because Fiido, particularly D2S, is being used by most of e-bikers right now. Maybe because they noticed the functionality and the physical design as the same thing that it captured me. Okay, so let's just proceed. This will be a random discussion as I don't have an list of subjects, topics regarding the e-bike. So whatever pops in my mind, I will just have to speak it out. So anyway, let me start off with the functionality of Fiido D2S. Well, it's very useful to use since it possesses purely electric option. You can use with pedal assistance option and a manual biking option. So you got 3 options when you use the Fiido D2S. And I should say that it has shifters. So 6 speed, and of course it has pedal, so when you run out of battery, at least you have an option to use it manually. So what are the difference between manual biking, pedal assistance, and the pure electric bike? So when I say manual biking, it's when you don't use the controller, where it's just like a regular bike that you do pedaling and then you use shifters. But I noticed that it's quite heavy for me and slow when you do pedaling, because I have compared it with my regular bike and mine has no shifter, but when I pedal, it moves quite faster than my Fiido D2S. But Fiido D2S has an advantage over my regular bike when I use pedal assistance. So with the pedal assistance comes 3 modes also. We have the low, medium, and high. So low mode consumes low battery, and you can use it via pure electric or with pedal assistance. But in my case, I usually use it more than an hour, less than 2 hours, and I still get 5 full battery bars when I get home. But when I use the second option, which is the medium mode, and I sometimes switch low and medium mode, whether in pure electric or in pedal assistance option, there are moments that it depletes one battery already. So I would come home with only 4 bars. But please do take note that the Fiido D2S has a recovery stage, which means there are moments that, for example, when you happen to be on a hilly road, and sometimes you use most of the battery is being used by the motor most of the time, so you deplete 1 or 2 battery, but when you get home, you'll notice that it regains another bar. So it's because of the recovery period of the battery. Then when you pedal with the medium mode, of course it is more smoother than when you use pedaling in low mode. And when you use the high mode setting in purely electric or just by pedaling, I assure you, in just a matter of minutes, less than 30 minutes, let's say, you already deplete 1 battery there. Because as an explanation by the seller, one of the sellers, I should say, is because the motor consumes battery so much. So the part that I just wish that the Fiido D2S has is that it has an accurate reading of the battery percentage. Unfortunately, it just have the battery bars, 5 full battery bars, and the low, medium, and high options there. So some people would have to add a voltmeter, if that is the right term, so that they can know what is the actual percent of the battery being left when they're using their e-bike. At the same time, if it's the speedometer, to check on what speed they are in already. And another thing is, some people, including me, experienced a little disappointment with regards to the battery. So I should say that through researching, the Fiido D2S can reach a 20 to 30 kilometer with using pure electric mode. So the third option, by the way, is the purely electric mode, which means you do not use the pedals. You in fact use the throttle so that you can keep moving. And the 3 modes which I mentioned earlier, which are the low, medium, and high, doesn't have really an effect when you use the throttle. So when you use a pedal assistance, in terms of kilometer, you get to have a maximum range of 50 kilometers. But there are some people who were able to prove that you can get higher than 50 kilometers, especially when you make use of pedaling more than using the pure electric mode. So it just depends on how you will strategize in order for you to reach your destination from point A to, let's say, point D, point A, B, C, D. So it's either you bring with you your charger or you just make use of the pedal most of the time, whether it's on a manual or you use the pedal assistance modes. Alright? Then we go over the accessories. Well, in my case, for the past 2 months, I already added side mirrors so that I can conveniently ride my bike and check on the vehicles behind me, so that I can quickly change lanes and at least to save myself from further accidents. Then I am actually learning recently on how to make long rides and face my fear on the road and analyzing the stoplight at the same time, so I can reach many destinations just by using my e-bike, And then I already put on signal light as well. So I am not the type of a person who uses hand signals, because I cannot do just one hand in biking. So at least I use the signal light as a form of communication to the vehicles behind me on what direction I am bound to go. Then I also put a camera, an action camera, just to record the scenery of the places that I am going. And then sometimes I use my mobile phone, so I could easily do some quick editing from it. And then I also put a rear seat and a rear rack. Actually, they're different. Rear rack is basically no what do you call this? It's just like a rock with no seat on it. So I have to buy the rear seat individually from Pro Scooter Manila. So it cost me around 2,000. But they say that there's another seller, JDM, who sells rear seat and rear rack by only 1,000 worth of peso only. So anyway, I needed those so I can put a rear bag on it. And I have to take off the backpack which I placed before in my bike, so just to avoid the stress on the body frame of my bike. And then please be mindful that the maximum weight of our Fiido D2S can carry only of 120 kilogram. And make sure that you also put some reflectors, so to avoid further accidents in the near future, especially that there are some dumb drivers that you can typically experience on the road. Make sure also that you have an additional flashlights and horn, because when you run out of the battery, it all dies out, so you cannot have an access on it. So the add-ons will be very useful for you. Also, don't forget to wear your helmet most of the time, and make sure that you have eye protectors as well from dusts, because I experienced it already. A dust entered my eye, and thankful that I was able to analyze the situation, that so that I can go to the rightmost part of the road and just stop by there for a little moment, just to take off that dirt in my eyes. Okay? And then even though you won't usually put your phone on your handlebar, you have to place a CP holder, a cell phone holder, just for an emergency that you will need to use your Waze, for directions. And I know it is not advisable to wear headset, but I can suggest that you can put, or rather you can use a bone conduction so that you can still hear the environment, the busy streets, the cars on your sideways, and still hear the information or answer calls just from your bone conduction. So it's when you say bone conduction, the sound waves comes from your bone canals. If I cannot furtherly explain, but it's safer to use than the normal headsets that we are used to, because when you wear headsets, you cannot totally hear from the outside. You can only hear on if you're playing music or if you're talking to someone. At least when you wear a bone conduction, you know, you can hear both very well, and it can keep you away from accidents. You just have to stay focused at the same time. You know, you have to be alert all the time when you are on the road. And then it is important that you bring with you at least 2 to 3 locks. Others would bring U locks, as in U locks, as it is more secure than the chains and the wire type of lock. So just to protect your bike when you're about to park it somewhere else. If you can, just to delay the theft from getting your bike, you know, you have to put their alarm at the same time, just to cut attention of other people who are just passing by, or the security guards who can simply take a look on your bike when it alarms rather. Make sure that when you go out for a ride as well, you have to check on your mud guards, as there are some stories being shared that it can cause accidents as well. Well, take note that mud guards are protection from splashes of muds, especially during rainy seasons. But if it's not properly fitted on your bike, and it can cause accident, literally serious accident to the person riding on it. Make sure to check on your brakes, check on your chains, you know, and don't forget to pray when you ride a bike all the time, and always be a defensive driver. As you know, as I've mentioned earlier, there are dumb drivers, and they just overtake on your direction without even, you know, making a sound that they're just behind you and about to cut your direction. So always put a safer distance. And if you're in a very busy street, you know, as I have mentioned again earlier, the side mirrors are very helpful and convenient, so that you don't need to look backwards all the time and be on a panic mode, because you don't know what's gonna be in front of you when you face your, you know, when you just turn your back, you know. And then always be confident and composed. No, don't let the panic take over you when you're in the middle of a busy street, as I have experienced it already, especially when I went to a certain place and it's a quite long ride, and you know, I don't know the direction technically, so I just have to follow Waze, and Waze brought me to a flyover. And you know, bike is not totally recommended to be on a flyover, because there are a lot of cars rushing towards on a different direction. And I just have to keep my composure and don't stop just on a certain place without even looking if is there a car behind me or something, it's okay to stop, but make sure that you're on a secure place, okay? Because there are trucks, the thing is that you can see them, but sometimes the driver on the other car cannot see you totally. So I do advise that you join groups or pages that where your bike models belong, and at the same time on a general group of bikers, so that you can have a takeaway of their insights, and you can share yours to them as well, your learnings, since everyone is starting from being a beginner and would end up being a master, so technically one can learn from the other. Okay, then what else can I share? Wait, let me think of it. So I was able to tackle about the accessories, I was able to tackle about the functionality of the bike, and there, by the way, before I forget, it's about the battery again. I hope that you don't really get a battery anxiety, especially if you're a new user of Fiido D2S, because as the day goes by, that you get to be addicted in using your e-bike, there are moments that you'll feel that I hope I have a larger battery so that it can be a perfect e-bike for you. But you just gotta enjoy the stock battery and just, strategize on how to use it to preserve the battery until you get home. Download, plug, and share so you will know where you can charge your battery if you cannot charge it on your destination. And download Strava to check on the kilometer that you happen to endure. At the same time, you can take a record of where you are, and it's like a souvenir, and it's like a mission that, wow, I was able to achieve a certain kilometer, a certain place, from point A to point whatever, and just enjoy the ride all the time. And please do take note that if you are going to, I just would like to give you an insight, actually, that if you decide to upgrade your battery, you have to upgrade also the controller. You need to have a budget of at least 15,000 in Philippine peso. It can be lesser, but it's more than 15,000 when you upgrade. Let's just put it this way. When I was scouting for a battery to upgrade on my first month of usage of the Fiido D2S, I ended up knowing that just for the battery per se, it would cost me around 6 to 8,000. And you cannot just upgrade a battery without upgrading the controller, which costs 7,000. So it would depend on the seller as well. So if you are to compute it, at least 15,000 you have in your pocket. That's exclusion, or rather excluding the labor or the tip that you can give to the person who's gonna assist you on it. And it would depend also on the battery, model of the battery that you are targeting. Others, let's say, if you're gonna use a Samsung brand, others would give you a price of around 30,000 just for the battery itself. So it's like you can just simply buy another model with a double range of kilometer that you can ride on without having to use the pedal assistance, just by typical pure electric mode only. But depends on you, because there are other people who are able to prove that D2S can go farther than what you just thought of uh of it, you know. Anyway, Fiido D2S is also one of those regular bikes. If you're really a biker, you can endure the long way without having to use the purely electric mode or the pedal assistance, you know. So there. Should there be any more clarifications, you can just leave a comment and note for some improvements on the way I vlog. It's okay, you know. At least the important thing there is that you stop by with my channel, you know, and I just hope that I am able to entertain you guys and that I was able to impart some knowledge to you, especially to the newbies who are already using their Fiido D2S or still awaiting to their orders. You know, I observe that there are a lot of Filipino who are willing to pre-order the Fiido e-bikes, you know, even if they wait at least a month or so that they can get first, you know, first hand touch of their Fiido bike models. So when you get one, I hope that you experience the same happiness I have with my Fiido D2S. And I'm really enjoying it as it is, you know. And the way that Piero Marie, my D2S, brings me to nature and brings me to the place that I dreamt of going, that I personally would navigate and explore. It's such a wonderful feeling for me. It's really fulfilling. So there, I just really hope that you enjoy watching, and please do like and subscribe and share, and please help me grow my channel. I hope that other people from the other country would appreciate this vlog. This vlog is for you guys, so I hope I can help you in choosing the best e-bike that would suit your needs. Okay, so good night, guys. It's already past 11 p.m. here in the Philippines, and there you go. I thought this would be a very quick vlog, but it happens to be 28 minutes past already. So good night, and thank you.